This video is going to be, I guess, a point of reference. It's going to be a video that in the future I refer dumb people to, I guess you could say. And no offense if you're watching this, but if you've been referred to it by me in the comments section of another one of my videos, it's because I'm tired of explaining the same bullshit over and over and over again. I've made several videos on global warming and evolution, and every time I've made a video on one of these subjects, it's only a matter of hours before someone waltzes into the comments section and leaves this same cliche, ridiculous comment that I hear and have heard a countless amount of times, and that is this: evolution is just a theory, or global warming is just a theory, it's not a fact. Okay, so I'm tired of hearing that because it's a nonsense objection. And here's why. The word theory in the scientific community does not hold the same meaning as it does when you and I use the word theory. Like, I have a theory that Jim stole my wallet on Saturday, or it's my theory that 2012 is going to be the end of the world. The word theory, like many other words in the English language, has a whole plethora of meanings. One of those meanings is the everyday usage of the term theory, which is it means you kind of have a hunch. It's a best guess. And then there's theory as it is used in the scientific community, which holds a lot more certainty. And to give a formal definition, a theory is a well-substantiated explanation of some aspect of the natural world, an organized system of accepted knowledge that applies in a variety of circumstances to explain a specific set of phenomenon. Theories can incorporate facts and laws and tested hypotheses, true in fact and theory. Okay, so that's how the word theory is used and how it applies in science. It doesn't mean, well, I got an opinion here. No. People who don't know much about science have this very horrible perception of what science is. The way I think they imagine it, by what I can glean from their comments, is that they imagine a kind of ladder of hierarchy, of certainty, where, a scientist or a group of scientists comes up with an idea, and okay, we're going to test this out. This is our idea. And then it becomes a hypothesis. And then they test it a little bit more and it becomes a theory. And then if it can survive more testing and more fact checking, it becomes a fact or a law. That's not how it works. The term fact is never used in science in that way, and the term law, as in law of thermodynamics, is only used in physics. It's not used in biology or any other school of thought. So in the scientific community, theory is the highest status that an idea can gain. Theories interpret and explain facts. There's no people try to make it seem like there's this false dichotomy between theory and facts, like an idea is either one or the other. No, that's what science does. You have facts about the natural world. You go out there and you discover facts and you collect data, and then you try to interpret and understand that data. And if you're able to do that, it becomes a theory. Or a hypothesis, sorry. And if that hypothesis is able to be tested, retested, peer-reviewed, if it is able to make predictions about future actions in the natural world, if it is able to survive falsifiability, then it reaches the highest status that a scientific theory can, which is theory. Like gravity, which is, even to this day, even though you can go jump out your window and find out for yourself that it exists, it's still a theory. But that doesn't mean that it's uncertain, that it's not for sure. It's the highest rank that a scientific idea can have, theory. So I'm sorry that took so long to explain, and there's countless videos on YouTube which already explain this, and countless, millions of articles on Google. But people just don't want to look it up. They want to keep coming to my channel and to videos about evolution and saying it's just a theory. That sentence, in and of itself, it's just a theory, doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like saying it's just truth or it's just a fact. Theories explain and interpret facts. There is no difference between a theory and fact. Theory makes sense of facts. Facts, we can't do a whole lot with facts. I could say it's a fact that the sun is bright, it's a fact that the sun is hot, but you have to have a theory to explain why and how the sun is hot and bright. Because it's fire, because it's hydrogen and combustion, and therefore my theory takes into account the facts about the sun, and it explains it. I'm dumbfounded that I have to explain this, but okay, moving on. Our culture is kind of unfortunate in that it's so pluralistic, in that we do buy into this relativistic type of thinking where everyone's opinion is equally valid, and you have to respect everyone's opinion, and everyone's beliefs hold an equal amount of weight. In a cultural setting, in a culture like ours, where we have people of many different cultures and race and gender and sexual orientation, it's good to respect people's beliefs and what they are. The problem with this type of worldview is that it carries over in the way that people look at science. And people think that they can apply the same type of mentality to science and say, well, science is just the opinion of scientists. It's just another opinion in an ocean of millions of opinions. So what? And that's a very unfortunate view, because that's not what science is. It isn't just another way of looking at the world. It's the absolute best and most fail-proof way that we can look at the world. It has given us, innumerable results. Everything you depend on a daily basis, whether it's light bulbs, the refrigerator, the house you live in, plumbing, electricity, the medicine and vaccines that keep us alive, it's all science. So, people have this horrible habit of just like they say it's just a theory, they'll say, oh, it's, that's just the opinion of science, as if they can just brush it off as if it's another opinion amongst a sea of thousands. But that's not what it is. If that was all that science is, then it wouldn't be very useful. It wouldn't have yielded all the results that it has thus far, because opinions are a dime a dozen. We all know that. We all run into it on a daily basis. But that's why science is what it is, why it's so different, why it's so great, and why we can rely on it to produce results and information. Because of the way it's set up, of objectivity and falsifiability and peer-reviewed. Someone comes up with a scientific hypothesis. Here's my idea about how a certain aspect of the natural world works. And then they write out their thesis, their hypothesis, and they pass it on to their peers in the scientific community. And what happens then isn't that they all look at it, go, okay, this sounds like a good idea, yeah, let's make this into a theory. No, after a hypothesis is developed, the rest of the scientific community tries as hard as they possibly can to disprove the hypothesis. But they try every in which way and ask, how could this be wrong? How could this be false? And if they can't prove it wrong, and if the facts support it, and if it's, all of that, then it might become a theory. That's the completely opposite way of how we do things in our everyday lives. We don't, convert to Christianity and then say to ourselves, let me try to prove these beliefs wrong. It would be intelligent if we did do that, and there'd be a hell of a lot more smart people in the world. But we don't. We do things the opposite way around. We adhere to a belief or convert to a belief or decide, I'm going to believe this or that, and then we go out there in the world and we look for confirmation for our beliefs. We try as hard as we can. We see what we want to see, and we filter all the evidence that contradicts our beliefs out. And that's not a healthy way of discerning truth from fiction, which is why people believe so many messed up things. So, I don't know, I just made this video to try to clarify some simple points about science that so many people fail to understand, and it's not hard to understand, and that's it.